Have you ever felt like you were slimed? You know, no doubt, you were slimed, right? Or like you had to take a shower after you had a conversation with somebody, even though that person might have been smiling and waving goodbye to you and can't wait to see you again, right? Or maybe you just felt nauseated or sick when you were reading an article, right? Or maybe when you were reading an email or a text message, or you just passed by somebody or they're sitting next to you on public transpo, right? Your body's giving you this sign of nausea and sickness, which is an intuitive hit, a negative vibe, right? So these are things that are projected at you, and if you accept them, if you accept the negative vibe, it's got you. It's got you. Then you got to worry about trying to get rid of it. Now, negative energy is heavier. It feels heavier, than positive energy. Sometimes we notice it more. It's kind of like the proverbial, metaphor of a ton of bricks falling on you, rather than a feather, being hit with a feather. That would be an example maybe of positive energy and a ton of bricks, negative energy. And it really does have that kind of feeling of heaviness about it. So if it doesn't feel good, and this is key, if it doesn't feel good, if it's a bad vibe, it doesn't feel good, it's negative. It's negative energy, and negative energy is loaded, right, to affect you. So today I'm going to share with you my tips for controlling potential negative energy coming at you, and a technique to get rid of negative energy that's projected onto you, or that you have knowingly or unknowingly absorbed, or that has shown up in your own energy field, right? So let's begin. Right? We're going to give you some tips. First, I want to say that, or I guess I should say, let's be reminded, because I've already talked about this in one of the other videos, that we as incarnate beings, right, souls that are inhabiting these bodies, we are connected, right? And we are constantly affecting each other, constantly. And we're constantly sending out vibrations, both positive and negative and neutral, right? So we are projecting, and we are being bombarded with positive and negative vibrations all day long. So the key here, the big tip that I want to leave you with here about energy, negative energy in particular, is to learn to be selective about the type of energy that's coming towards you on which you are going to place your attention, right? So if you are paying attention to the negative vibes that are coming your way, you're engaging with them, you're making them stronger, you're building them up, you're drawing them into you, you're absorbing them. If you are ignoring them, or you are identifying them and choosing not to allow them to enter into your state of consciousness, or even into your energy body, right, then you're not going to necessarily have those sorts of problems. Sometimes you can feel those coming, and sometimes it's not until you've already absorbed them that you feel them, because you weren't paying attention. So remember, your body is your intuitive instrument, and your body is going to give you clues about the hits that it's receiving, and whether or not those hits are information that has a positive vibe, or if it has a negative vibe. Now remember, we talked about this yesterday. Negative vibe doesn't necessarily mean bad and evil. It means that it's not in service to you, right? And positive means that it's in service to you, right? So you can generally think of them as the yes and no button, but I don't want to be too simplistic about it, right? So negative energy, when it's not evil, it's just not in service to you. And as I go along with examples, you'll see how that will really benefit you to understand that, rather than getting caught up in all the drama that can come, right, in the form of a negative vibe. So sometimes we get caught up in the drama of something, And if you just sort of step back and take a look at it, you can say, wait a second, I'm getting a big boatload of negativity here, and this is not in service to me. And the quicker you can identify and get to that point, the quicker you can actually dispel the negative energy and move on and make a choice. So remember, this is your intuitive instrument, your body, and with it you can measure and you can tap into the vibration and understand the feeling of whether this is positive or negative. So remember that if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right. You trust your vibes and you act on them. Make a change, make a choice. You have to remind yourself that your intuitive abilities are inner knowing without empirical evidence. You don't really have any proof that you can point to. You can only say, I feel like it is a negative vibe or like it's a positive vibe. So don't go along with the program just to be nice. I have done this so many times and I've gotten really burned. So when you feel that negative vibe coming along your way, one of the things that you can do right away to help dispel it is to actually give voice to it and call it out and even name it. You know, you can say, like, for example, I'll say, wait, you know, something doesn't feel right here. I'm getting a negative vibe. You know, and sometimes you probably notice this with people, you know, you're getting a negative vibe. You say, wait a second, you know, what was your intention in telling me that? Or can you explain that a little bit more? I'm not quite sure I understood you. So you're calling it out right away. And that sort of tends to stop negative energy in its tracks on its way to you. Not always, but it is helpful. And negative energy can come from somebody who's standing right in front of you, or the negative energy can come from somebody anywhere in the world, and they can be standing anywhere on the planet, you know, and you can feel it. I can feel negative vibes coming to me from the other side of the world, you know. So, but I'm sensitive to them, and you would be too. So energy travels. It's not always just what's right in front of you. Energy definitely travels. So naming a bad vibe, it's a very powerful tool to be able to begin to dispel it or get rid of it right away, especially when it's first coming towards you. So as I said before, how do you do that? Just say it out loud. You know, I would just say it out loud. I feel a negative vibe is present and I'm not going to accept it. You know, I use that one particularly when there's nothing in front of me. I can feel a negative vibe, like a stabbing pain in my back, just like somebody's, you know, going at me. I'll say, whoa, you know, that is a negative vibe coming at me. I do not accept it. You know, you shore up your own energetic boundaries so that it can't continue to penetrate into your aura and your energy body. So don't cave into the fear that is associated with a negative vibe, because it's not evil, it's just not in service to you. There is no reason to be afraid. There is only reason to try to do something about it, not accept it, and to change it. So an intuition, a technique that I want to talk to you about, I got a couple here, but first is to discover where the negative energy is coming from. And the first place to start is to ask yourself if it's coming from you. Is the negative vibe coming from you? Right? We always sort of want to look someplace else, but it's best to look here first. You know, and start a dialogue with your intuition and ask where the bad vibe is coming from. Right? We talked in some other videos on how to quiet and put your hand on your heart and you say, where is this coming from? You know, and you wait for the answer. And the first one that drops into however it is that you receive your intuition with any of your intuitive senses, that's the guidance, that's the truth, right? Anything else that comes in after that is usually your mind trying to rationalize it, justify it, figure it out, trying to tell you, no, that isn't it, because you don't have enough evidence. It's always that first thing, it's that first hit that comes in. So you want to ask, you know, who is this coming from? Is it coming from me? You know, am I the one drawing this to me? I mean, am I the one creating it in this particular situation, and wait for an answer? And then you can choose your next step. You can say, I'm going to disconnect from this energy and just walk away. You know, that's like the easiest one. Remember, my teacher, Sonia Choquette, said, If you're in a room and you meet someone, they got a smile on your face, and you're just feeling like you need to run out of the room and take a shower, run out of the room. And then you can decide if you really need a shower. But use your feet, turn around, walk away when you're in the face of it, face to face to it. When you're not face to face to it, then you're going to have to work very hard not to make sure that it penetrates your energetic body. And you can do some other things to be able to make sure that that's not happening. Now, sometimes the negative energy, it's being projected at you from seemingly inanimate objects like the TV, right? Or the computer. I stopped watching TV in 1997 because I was beginning to feel a whole lot of negative vibrations coming at me all the time from the news. And I wasn't able to control what I was seeing. It was always just coming at me, And I thought, I don't want this in my sphere. Now it's to the point that in my house, if somebody wants to watch anything that has a gunshot or a scream in it, they got to put on the headphones. You try to be informed in the world, but you try not to absorb. So you want to observe, with regard to being an informed citizen or an informed human on the planet, but you don't want to absorb the energy that is being projected, because energy travels. It travels through the phone, it travels through the television, it travels through the computer, it travels through, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. It can make its way that way to you. So it's okay to observe, but not to absorb. And I had found myself absorbing too much of it. So I thought I was going to get rid of it. So that was a choice that I had made way back in 1997. The last thing I watched was an episode of Seinfeld. If the negative energy is coming from a best friend or a family member, you have to set a boundary, right? You can use it with a word, or you can simply withdraw your energy to the point that the relationship becomes comfortable again. And there doesn't have to be a showdown. There doesn't have to be a discussion about it. All you have to do is change your energy, right, and how much you're giving, and everything else around you will change. You are the catalyst. You're the curator of your own contentment and the creator of your own happiness. And so all the change starts here, and it goes out. Every time you make a change, everything around you will start to change. Sometimes very quickly and sometimes more slowly. So you might have to end the relationship if it's a constant source of negativity. This is really, really hard if it's a family member or, it's your family. It's a difficult situation. We tend to have our tolerance level so high that maybe it gets to the point that we're making ourselves sick by being surrounded by that negative energy. And if you can, you try to clear the air with that individual or situation. Sometimes it's a situation that has that bad vibe, And one of the ways that you can do this simply, without sort of laying out your whole case, is to ask the question, is there something between us that I'm unaware of? Because I'm getting a real negative vibe here, and you can just say it and then see what the response is. Is there something between us, because I'm getting a negative vibe here. Okay, so you're calling it out, right? What we talked about before, and then you're also trying to clear it by asking the individual directly. Maybe they will tell you the truth. Maybe they won't. And that can be really frustrating. So in those instances when you're not sure, almost instantly but if you're not sure, you can again tap into your intuitive ability, listen to your body, which is your intuitive instrument, and you can ask that question: am I in the presence of a true yes? Am I in the presence of the truth? Am I in the presence of a false yes or a false no? Am I in the presence of something that's untrue? and you wait and you listen to your intuition to give you that slice of that piece of information. And then again, you can decide, how it is that you want to move forward on that. Sometimes, people don't really want to admit that they have an issue. They just sort of want to present it as though everything's okay. These are people who are often passive aggressive. That great unfriending on Facebook, right? The barometer of passive aggression in the last couple of years, like, hey, wow, everything okay? Oh yeah, everything's great. And then you can feel it. No, everything's not great. This person can't bring themselves to have the conversation with you. Sometimes when people aren't truthful, it's because they don't want the responsibility of being accountable for their participation in the creation of the situation at hand. Can't handle it. They don't want it. They don't want to have to go there. They don't want to have to face their contribution. It's so much easier to just sort of lay blame out to someone else, and refuse to have the conversation. That in itself is a negative vibe as a whole package, right? Even regardless of what it is that they're saying. So, that kind of negativity that is coming along can be read by the body as a true yes or as a true no, right? So you just want to be able to use your physical body and be able to say, okay, there's more here, or there's less here, or I can make a move on this, or maybe I need to wait. Maybe I need to wait for a little bit more information in the situation, and then go forward from that move, right? So sometimes to clear that particular energy, you might have to completely and totally disconnect. That doesn't mean that you are unkind. It just means you just withdraw your energy, right? And then sometimes the time becomes right where that there can be a clearing, and then you'll be able to engage again with your energy, right? So remember, the negative energy is not evil or bad. It's just energy that's not in service to you at the moment. And positive energy, although we like to say that it's good in that it is in service to us. So we know, okay, this is positive, this feels good, so I'm probably on the right path, I'm probably making a good choice here. And if it's feeling like it's negative, like, then probably not a good choice, and probably at the minimum need to either wait for more information or create a new boundary, or be able to completely disconnect from that particular energy, right? This can be with a dog, it can be with a cat, it can be with a person, it can be with a group of people, it can be with a situation, it can be with, in the realm of employment, right? So, because we're always being bombarded with vibration, both positive and negative. So this is daily maintenance to be able to clear negative vibration. We have an aura, right? So our energetic body extends out beyond our physical body. And you can feel what kind of vibes are around you with your aura. One of the examples I like to give is that I love cities, and I go to cities a lot. And when I'm in a city, like a really crowded city, like New York City, or if I'm in Los Angeles, or if I'm in Chicago or someplace, and I'm in a building where I have to get into an elevator. And if I walk into an elevator and there's nobody in it but me, I'm the only one in it, I feel really relaxed. I can just let my aura expand. I can just, feel the whole space in the elevator. I often look up at the video camera and wave hi to the security person that's up there, because I know they can see me. And it's different when I step into an elevator that's super crowded. I can feel myself contract my aura to come really close to my body. Now, so I'm not mixing, but if I want to, and sometimes I do, I can expand that aura outward, and I can feel the vibe of everybody that's in that elevator. I can read it, right? This one's having a good time. This one's not having a good day. This one's got a situation with a problem. This one's really angry about something. This one's really joyful. You can read all of it. And I'm sure that you can do that too once you become really strongly aware of your intuition and being able to read vibration. So a couple of things. When you're feeling like you have some negative energy hanging on you, those of us that are around a lot of people, you know, I'm a Reiki master, an intuitive, a light worker, an energy worker. So when I'm in practice with someone, I'm in there with their energy. And if there's some sort of negative energy, even if it's being released and that's the purpose, some of it is going to show up in my auric field and might affect me. So I have to be cleansing and cleaning myself of my energy all the time. And anybody who works around a lot of people, you know, even if you work around a lot of animals, even if you take public transportation and you're just briefly around a lot of people, you're just gonna, it's like dust or it's like lint. You know, you're just gonna get a little bit of it. You know, you're gonna get a little bit of it. The less that you absorb, if you're just sort of observing a situation, that's one thing. But if you're gonna be affected by it and you're starting to absorb it, you're going to get a little more of it, and then it's going to come in. It's going to come in further and further and further, and you might find yourself actually reflecting whatever negative energy is being projected at you and that you have absorbed. It might not even be your own, right? You're actually almost mimicking the energy that you had absorbed. So sometimes you ever wake up and you just feel, ugh, I just feel yicky today. You know, you don't really know why. A lot of times that's the reason why. You're carrying, you've got some negative energy on board that needs to be released. So there's lots and lots of ways to be able to release negative energy, you know, but two that are just sort of simple that you can do at home. You can go in there and just take care of it yourself. I have two that I absolutely love. One is you can do it in the shower or you can do it in a bathtub, but it's Epsom salts, E-P-S-O-M, Epsom salts. And Epsom salts with a little bit of lavender essential oil will help to draw out the negative energy from your energetic body, right? Salt it's drawing, right? That's why when you preserve something in salt, it looks like a prune. It's sucking stuff out. So it's the same in the energetic realm. It will suck it out. Even if you stay in water too long, your fingers will get all wrinkly, you know, and that's because the water is actually drawing out. So that's one very simple way. After I'm usually done doing a Reiki session or an intuitive session, oftentimes before I go to bed at night, I would usually take a shower and meditate in the shower. But I will often either scrub myself with Epsom salt or I will do it in the bathtub. Ladies, no scrubbing with Epsom salt right after you've shaved your legs. Right, I found out that one the hard way. So, you know, there's another tip for you. Okay, so the other one is saging. I'm a big fan of saging. And tomorrow I'm having a workshop here at my place. And before everybody walks into my house, they will get what I call a good smoking. And I wanted that to be just something fun we could do together tonight. We're actually going to do one. Energy travels. So as I'm saging, you're going to be getting the clearing too. So while I'm getting this ready, I want you to think about something that negative, right, that had happened this week or today, or you know, something negative that you would like to get rid of. I'm firing up Palo Santo wood. I'm going to show it to you here. See, there we go. You know, this idea of saging and smoking to cleanse energy, to take your vibration higher is an ancient one, right? This is not a contemporary invention. Here we go. So what I'm doing is I'm smoking the energetic field around me. This smells so good. I bet you if you breathe in, you could probably smell it too. Palo Santo wood, right? So we're doing a saging. I like to call it I'd like to call it a smoking, right? But this one's Palo Santo, so. So it just helps it to dispel it and to keep it from being absorbed into your energetic field or your aura, right? It allows you to maintain that position of observing and not absorbing. It's better to observe and react than to absorb and react. You'll have two different reactions. Okay? And then just to break it up a little bit further, I'm going to use a rattle. This is often used in shamanic practice. The idea is that the sound is going to help break up and shake it up and make it so discontented. It's going to want to just leave your space. For the last, we use the evil eye to protect you. I love that. Okay. So those are a couple of ways that if you're feeling like you've got some negative energy on you, that you can get rid of it. The best thing to do is to not let it come into your energetic field to begin with. And the way that you do that is by fine-tuning your body as your intuitive instrument so that you can read the vibrations that are coming your way from people, places, things, objects every day. Identify which ones are positive and which ones are negative. And spend your attention and your choices on the positive and withdraw your energy from that which is negative. And negative doesn't mean that it's evil. It means that it's not in service to you at that moment. It might be in service to you later, you know, when a change occurs and you make another decision. So you want to be able to not get involved in that sort of negative vibration that's coming around you. You don't want to be going after negative energy, trying to change it. The way that you do it is you just simply change you. You change you, right? So figure out where, you know, am I causing this negative vibe? And if I am, what changes do I need to make? And when you make changes, other things will change as well. In order to avoid negative energy at all, from getting it at all, right? In order to avoid it, so it doesn't even find you, you have to raise your personal vibe. That works like a charm. Have to raise your personal vibration. And when you are vibing high, right? The negative vibration that's coming your way from people, places, you know, situations, it's like it can't find you. You're here and it's missing you. It's still there. You're still there, but it can't find you. Right? It's in those moments when you're like caught off guard or you're willing to allow that negative energy to affect you. Boom! There's the ignition point right there, right? So when you raise your vibration, right? We've heard that saying, go high, right? Don't go low. Try to take the high road. And those negative vibes won't come. They won't come your way. They won't be able to find you. And there's lots of ways that can raise your vibe, right? Positive thinking is one. It's a big one. Disconnecting from existing negative energy is another, whether that's a TV show, whether it's the news coming at you, whether it's a person that's constantly giving you a bag of bullshit. You're constantly making yourself feel bad, you know? You're the curator of your own contentment. If you're not having a good time, you know, that's your fault. So you have to really stop that critic in your mind that is criticizing yourself. Your ego's criticizing you, judging you. You know, it's so easy to do that. Oh my God, I feel stupid. You know, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, you know, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not, you know, smart enough. I'm not. That's a negative vibe, right? That's you lowering your vibration, right? So you want to raise that up, right? So you have good self-esteem, good self-confidence, good positive thinking, give people the benefit of the doubt. Try as best you can to be compassionate, to live in the love light. The really big benefit of learning to be intuitive is that you start to live life in the flow. And this is a state of being. And I remember when I first arrived in that state of being, it was like everything was just so easy. I drive up into a very busy restaurant in a parking lot. I want to park my car, and there's one space in the front row open for me. Right? Simple things like that. I get on a plane, I sit in the seat, and the middle seat is empty in my row only. I'm trying to increase my income, and lo and behold, the phone rings, and I have an opportunity that I didn't have before. I'm not kidding. This is it's in the flow, and I have to constantly work on myself to make sure that my vibe is high, try to keep myself in a positive realm, try to be listening to my intuition, which is subtle. Say yes, right? So with intuition, it's 3 things have to happen. Have to recognize your intuitive hit, have to trust it, have to act on it. All three have to happen. And it doesn't have to be a big, gigantic step or a leap in order to be able to act. It can be a baby step, a little tiny baby step. Like maybe you want to, have a new, you want to increase your income stream, and you want to be able to offer a particular service that you haven't before. Well, the baby step would be, I'm going to offer this particular service, because your thoughts are like orders to the universe. Actually, what you think manifests quicker than the action that you take towards your goals. Now, it's hard to believe, but it does happen that way. The other is that you take a tangible baby step. Well, I think I'll just add that particular service to my list of offerings on my website or on my business card, or whatever it might be. But once you do that, then your intuition has other opportunities. So you're literally trying to find all of the open doors, step by step, one step at a time. And you are already intuitive. You were born with it. You have it on board. Okay, thanks for being here. Mwah. Love from California. Bye.